Hey guys, John over here at Powerhouse. We're out of Torrance, California, and we build aftermarket performance VW air-cooled engines. Today we have 3 of our customers' motors done, and we're going to do a little run video, 2 of them on the dyno, so we'll show you around. All right, this one is a 2166, 84 by 90.5. It'll put out about 150, 160 horsepower / torque. It's for Jeff Wright. He's out of Oregon, and it's going to go into 66 VW bus. We've already done the first 20-minute break-in. Everything checked out good. We cycled it a couple times. We ran through the valves, no problems. As soon as we clear the dyno off, we're gonna bolt this up. If everything checks out good there, we'll box it up and it'll be on its way. All right, so this one is John Emmerich's. It's going into a VW trike. It's a 2332 with 44 IDF levers, makes about 175 horsepower, 185 torque. So last month we did a video on this one showing some of the details underneath the fan shroud where we mount the coil. We take apart the case to get it powder coated. This one got powder coated wrinkle black, so we have to take the studs out and machining the pulley so it kind of matches the upper pulley. After getting the fan and the pulleys anodized, some of the trim work that needs to be done, putting that back together. The fan shroud gets a lot of work around the manifold trimming area. Carburetors get powder coated, cleaned up, put back together. We're gonna deburr all the edges with the deburring tool here, get all the extra flash off. We're gonna jet it accordingly for the motor, the 2332. And these are dual 44s. We're gonna surface the manifolds, tops and bottoms, put the throttle shafts, the bearings back in, and we'll get this on this motor. So these are all just little details that we do. We even run 90-degree boots at each end of our spark plug wires for a nice tight fit. We drill and tap the back side of the fan shroud, put a nutsert in and a nice clamp that holds the wires down really clean. We just took it off the dyno right now. We did our normal first 20-minute break-in. Then during that break-in, we'll set the timing, synchronize the carbs, and just basically run it for about 20 minutes at about 2,500 RPM, 2,000 to 2,500 RPM to break it in. So we'll put it through a series of little load tests as we warm it up, and once it gets to temperature, we'll go ahead and put it under a big load and check for oil leaks and just kind of go through everything, make sure there's no leaks and everything's good to go. This thing is running super strong. No problems with it at all. The exhaust on it is just something we put on it temporarily. This wouldn't fit into well, it'll fit, but it won't look real good on a trike unless he does something modification. So, customer, once he gets it in the trike's actually not done right now. So it's gonna sit here for a little bit, and when he gets the trike done, he'll put it in, design some kind of exhaust, or maybe work something off of this one. But either way, once he gets the correct exhaust on there and get it in, I'm sure he's gonna have a blast. So this thing is more than enough power for that trike. So we've taken this one off. We're gonna go ahead and stick Jeff's on there now, and we'll run Jeff's on the dyno now. So we got Jeff's all finished up. Jerry's boxing it up. I'll give Jeff a call, let him know it's on its way, give him the tracking number, go from there, and then we'll be right back and we'll run Virgil next. Hello, is Jeff available?
This is him.
Jeff, this is John over at Powerhouse.
Hey man, how are you?
Good, good. We have your engine all boxed up and ready to ship. I wanted it to go out today. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to pick it up today, but even if they did, it'd probably sit at the warehouse all weekend. So I'll have them pick it up Monday.
Disappeared.
What do we got there?
We got a 2110 going in a 67 21 window deluxe for Virgil. It's got CNC ported heads. Should put out about 150, right in that range. We've already broke this in. We're getting ready to give it one last start, and hopefully have this picked up by Monday.
Tick noise, valve noise, and I asked Jerry to go ahead and pull the valve cover off and check it again, and we found that the rocker was hitting our little notch. So I think in the last video I had mentioned that we notch these MST valve covers because the rockers do hit them from time to time, and sure enough this one was still hitting a little spot that we didn't clear. So we went back through that, cleared that again, and got it all fixed up. Good. All right, so after you...
Right on.
All right, ready? All right, so after we notched the valve covers a little bit more, Jerry went through the rockers, adjusted the valves again, and we decided we'd put it on the dyno. So I got Jerry a little bit of caffeine. He picked up a few mile an hour, and he got this thing up, bolted up, and we're gonna run it up here on the dyno so we can run it a little bit harder. Right. You did pick up a few mile an hour, right?
Just a bit, yeah.
All right, well.
Like a freeway flyer.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and fire this one up, see how it sounds now.
Yeah.
This thing sounds great now, nice and quiet, smooth. We'll go ahead and we'll put the water to it like we did the last two motors, put it under a load, run it real hard, and then we'll go ahead and pop the covers off one more time, look at it, make sure they're not hitting, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem. It sounds really good now. So it actually gives me a quick second to talk about valve adjustments. So factory Volkswagens had an aluminum push rod. You always adjust regardless if it's chromoly or aluminum push rod, you still adjust them when the motor's cold. So if we go to the stock adjustments, Volkswagen did 4 to 6 thousandths lash when the motor was cold. When the motor would grow, as it warms up, the motor would grow. The push rods, because they're aluminum and thinner, they would grow and then retract as it cools down and then heats up, and they would cycle. And I think that constant growth of the push rod would be why you had a lot of tight valves on the stock motors. We're using the chromoly push rods. The chromoly push rods, they grow at a slower rate. So we adjust them at 0 lash because we've seen, it's after you fire them up, I'll see 11 thousandths free play in that. So you don't want to adjust them to 6 because then when the motor warms up, they'll be at 17. So we adjust them at 0. And then when the motor warms up, the motor will grow, 11 or 12 thousandths, something in that area, and you'll hear a little bit of valve noise. So aluminum, they're going to be a little quieter, but with the dual springs, you really need a steel push rod. We tried a few years ago, I think it was Bug Pack had a heavy duty aluminum push rod, and I I tried it and I ran it and it was real quiet when it warmed up. I was real happy with that. And I ran it for a while, and then I had like 4 motors come back with broken pushrod tips. So I went back to chromoly steel and said, we're not gonna do that again. Another option, or people have asked me about, would be hydraulic lifters. So they constantly pump themselves up and keep the valves nice and adjusted. I think because they lay horizontally, when you shut the car off and leave it overnight, or some, a lot of people don't drive these all the time, so that they bleed down. And that constant bleeding down of the hydraulic lifters, eventually they wear out, and you'll start hearing when you fire them up in the morning, they're real loud till they pump up, and then eventually they won't pump up no more and they go bad. Volkswagen did that on the later model Vanagons, I don't remember what year, but they came out with a hydraulic lifter and it worked really well, but over a period of time, within a few years, you end up having to change the lifters. And on these air-cooled motors, you'd have to split the case to change the lifter, so that's not a good thing. It's just, I haven't seen anything really work well. I know there's a few people that do that. I've never seen any good success with that over a period of time. Possibly if you drive it every single day and you fire it up, but even then, like I said, the Volkswagen motor's laid flat. So I believe they're just bleeding out, and that constant back and forth bleeding out, pumping up, they just don't last. So anyway, that's a little tech tip and answer to why we don't use hydraulics. So we're gonna go ahead and put this back under a load, see how it goes, and go from there. That's a wrap. Took us an extra few days, but it was worth it. Virgil's is done, running super strong, and he should be here within the next few days to pick it up. John Emmerich's, like I said, his trike's not ready, so it'll sit up here for a little bit, but the good news is, as soon as he's ready, it's ready. Jeff Wright's, it's on its way to him. He should be receiving that soon. Thank you guys for checking us out. If you haven't already subscribed, you can find us Powerhouse VW on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you can see live updates. And we're also on Instagram and Facebook at Powerhouse VW.
We did so much, people don't even know we did it.